All right, we're going to talk about inequalities now. So inequalities, if you've kind of forgotten, what does that word mean? Where is my pen? How did I lose it? That's amazing. Where did it go? Here it is. Okay, didn't you love that little aside? I could start the video over, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it there, and you're going to tell me when you find this in the video, and you're going to be like, Miss Jacobs, I just saw your mistake. And that way I know you're watching, okay? So what we're doing here is we're going to talk real quick about inequalities just in general. What are you allowed to do with them? What do they mean? And then we're going to practice solving them. So this is the word we're talking about, inequality. And that's when you have things like less than, greater than, less than or equal, greater than or equal. You could also have does not equal, although that's less often. So if you have something like x is less than 5 or x is less than or equal to 5, really any of these options, okay, you're allowed to do things like add to both sides. Okay, so x plus 1 is less than 5 plus 1. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to subtract from both sides. So I'm allowed to subtract 1 from both sides. X is less than 5. I'm allowed to multiply by anything, and I'm allowed to divide by anything, but there's a special rule. Okay, so let me show you something that I can divide by is I can, let's say, multiply by 2. Okay, so 2 times x is 2x, less than 5 times 2 is 10. I'm allowed to do that. Okay, I'm allowed to divide by 2 on both sides. Easy peasy. So now I have x is less than 5. Now, what I do need to remember, though, is if you multiply or divide by a negative number, okay, then you need to flip the sign. And so what I mean by that is if I were to multiply by -1, okay, now I have that negative x and -5. I need to say that now negative x is greater than -5. I switched the sign. I flipped it around. Okay, so those are really kind of your basic things you have to know to be successful. And let's jump into a problem. So here we go. So much to erase. Wish I had a bigger eraser, like a clear everything button, but I don't. Okay, so here's our problem. This one has decimals. We're going to kind of take a look at decimals. It's nothing fancy. We're not scared of them. We just may use our calculator a little more. So no big deal. So -5.6n plus 12.9 is greater than or equal to -71.1. Okay. And so this question, it says, graph the solution on a number line. So we're going to make a number line at the very end. We're not going to worry about that yet, but we want to remember what are the instructions. So here we go. I'm going to start by subtracting 12.9 on both sides. And I'm going to use my handy dandy calculator. That's 71.1 minus 12.9. Make sure you get your negatives in the right place because I just now forgot my negative. -71.1 minus 12.9 equals -84. Well, it's kind of annoying because I had my little answer key right over there, but I forgot to look at it, but that's okay. And then -5.6n. So now I'm going to divide by -5.6, divide by -5.6. So -84 divided by -5.6 is a nice clean number. It's 15. It's beautiful. I love it. We have n on this side. And what do we do to this sign is we flip it. So now we have a less than or equal sign. So now we're going to talk about what are we doing with that number line. And I'm also going to, as a bonus, remind you what set notation looks like. So first, we're going to draw our number line. Okay, we have a bunch of numbers on it, and really the only one I care about is the 15. I don't care about anything else, care about the 15. And n is less than or equal to 15. that less than or equal means I have an open circle. No, closed circle. I just can't talk. Okay, closed circle. I'm going to color it in. It looks stupid. You know what I should have done? I'm going to do this. I'm going to grab my solution in different colors so that you can see it better, hopefully. Okay, so negative 15, or no, positive 15. I'm coloring in my circle here. Very colorful. And then I am drawing my line this way and saying that my solution is all of these numbers. So if you want to make it bigger and shade it, if you want to use a highlighter, if you want to use a colored pen, if you want to use a marker, it's going to be easier for me to see it if you do that and make it super bold, but it's really your choice. I'm not going to make you do that. So that's graphing the solution on the number line. I guess if you wanted to make a little note that less than and greater than or less than is open circle. Okay, so like this on the number line. And if it has the equal signs, then it's a closed circle. And the reason we do that this way in math is because this closed circle says, hey, we're including the 15. It's allowed to be 15, so I'm going to close it. If it was an open circle, I'd be like, nah, it stops right up against 15, but we don't actually need that number 15. Okay, so that's how you do that. I'm going to do one more example of exactly this type of thing. Oh, and I forgot, I was going to write it in set notation too. Since we learned that in the last unit, I wanted to write it. So remember, we use the curly brackets. We say x such that x is less than or equal 15. Okay, so really straightforward there. There's nothing magic. I just wanted to remind you that that is something that we have done so that if you see a question that instead of saying graph the solution on a number line, it says tell us the solution set, it is fine for you to write it like this. Okay, so my next question here, it says minus p minus 3 is greater than or equal to negative 4 times p plus 6. So again, we're just practicing using order of operation and how to solve problems. So we're going to distribute this. We have negative 4p minus, a lot of times students forget that negative. So negative 4 times the 6 is negative 24. It's right on my eyeballs. Okay, and negative p minus 3. We're going to keep on working on this. I think I'm going to move these 4p's over to the other side because I like my positive. So negative p plus 4p is 3p. I still have my minus 3 and I still have my negative 24. So I'm going to go ahead and add 3 over here. So I have 3p is greater than or equal to, kind of got a little bit wonky there, but that's okay. 24, this is going to be negative 21. Divide by 3, divide by 3. P is greater than or equal to 7. So I could say P such that P is greater than or equal to 7. Okay. Or did I forget my negative? Yes, I did. Negative 7. I could draw it on a number line. So I have negative 7. We'll pretend this is 0. And I have P is greater than or equal to negative 7. That means that this is closed circle. Let's go ahead and get this red color. So this is a closed circle. So I'm going to shade that in. My pen does not love shading. And then I'm just going to follow this and make that big. I wish I had like a big highlighter, but I kind of already used here. This is kind of, I don't know how well you can read that, but anyway, that's the solution set, is graphing it on the number line like that. So let me show you one more example. This one's going to be a word problem. So I'm going to erase this and pull the word problem onto my screen, and then we'll talk about how to solve it with a word problem. That is a little bit more of a step above, but I also think it's important for you to see what that is. And I like this example. It's about nutrition and things like that, and how much of like your daily values and stuff. So let me pull that over here. Now you can hopefully read it. says the recommended daily intake of calcium for teens is 130 milligrams. Jake gets 237 milligrams of calcium from a multivitamin he takes each morning and 302 milligrams from each glass of skim milk that he drinks. How many glasses of milk would Jake need to drink to meet the recommendation? Okay, so we're going to do this. We're going to think about what kind of equation could we set up. So I'm going to do, we could do G for glasses, or we could do M for milk. Since I'm on my video by myself, I guess I get to make that up myself. I'll do G for glasses. Okay. And so what he drinks each day, or how much total calcium he gets, is he gets his calcium from the vitamin. So that's 237 from the vitamin. I'm going to make a note. So that's his vitamin. And then he also gets plus 302 for every glass of milk that he drinks. Okay, so that's the milk. And we need that number to be greater than or equal to 1,300. So we want to figure out what number of glasses makes this inequality work. So let's start by subtracting 237. So 1,300 minus 237 is 1063. That's on my face again, but I think you can still read it. You guys let me know. If you really hate it on my face, you can let me know. So now we're going to divide by 302. On both sides, divide by 302. So we have G is going to be greater than or equal to whatever this number ends up. So 1063 divided by 302 is 3.5 to blah, blah, blah. We don't really need the extras because it's glasses of milk. He's going to drink 3.5 glasses of milk. You don't need too many extra decimals. Now, in my opinion, I think that Jake shouldn't eat 3.5 glasses of milk. He should probably find another source of calcium to have. But, you know, I am no nutrition expert, so don't believe anything that I say about nutrition. If you have questions about this type of word problem, please let me know.